They kind of address fears that you already have. And, I don't think people like to be scared, so that's not why they go to scary movies. They go to scary movies because they already have certain fears. And the movie brings it out in a way that's fun because you're not going to be hurt. You know probably that the person that you're most identifying with, the hero or heroine, is going to survive and probably triumph. So, and you go with friends. So you come out sort of laughing and exhilarated and happy, and the scarier the film are, the happier they seem to be. You just come out bubbling and giggling and a buzz, If I were to think of something to say to the fans, I would say thank you. Thank you for being there. Appreciate what I do. Sometimes give me a little rap on the head to get me going back in the right direction. But most of all, I think that you are one of the greatest people I've met, and the most gentle souls, and get all the humor and everything else in my films too. So thank you. Thank you for all you've given.
To Wes!
To Wes!
You'll see him in your head on the TV screen. Hey buddy, I'm warning you to turn it off. He's a ghost, he's a god, he's a man, he's a guru. You're one microscopic cog in his catastrophic plan, designed and directed by his red right hand.
Hello everybody! Welcome to another episode of Screen Team. I'm your host, Cat79, aka Chris, joined by my usual co-host, Derica, aka Dark Neon.
Wow, that was a very touching thing you did there. It's kind of a different approach that we usually do.
Well, yeah, this one is a little bit different, and of course, this is a long-running series. You gotta shake up things over, maybe even shake up your titles or something. If you look on the screen right now, I just couldn't resist.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is for a bit.
Fix that.
There we go. That's much better. But I couldn't get that out of my system. You know, like I said, it did nearly have a choking water fit while laughing about discussing it, plus seeing some funny images at the same time. So, but yeah, that actually hit me like the day before. Like, we usually go up on Sundays. On Saturday, it just hit me where I go like, I know we mentioned Wes passing later in the middle of our Scream 4 review, but I figured, this really highlights that, he what his mission statement, what everything was set for this series was, and I thought it captured perfectly why people like us like the Scream movies. Because is there a sick sadistic part of us that kind of likes to see how the knife gets twisted sometimes? Maybe not. Jury's out on that. But we also, like I said, there's some things we're afraid of, and seeing it in a physical form be evaded and maybe even defeated by people that we closely look up to really does feel cathartic in a way. I mean, that's why the best horror movies are the ones where you feel like, well, that was worth the ride. And that's also why you get a bad taste from horror movies that just completely nihilistically kill everybody. At least you'll be like, well, that was just a 2-hour misery fest. Why'd I sit through that?
Mm-hmm. Smile too.
Oh, really? I heard that one is actually quite decent. But anyway.
Look, yeah. That's a little tangent, but while the acting is good, it's it's just like a big waste of time. It's like, what's the fucking point of it?
Yes, but anyway, so yeah, I thought it'd be great to throw in that West thing, where even the filmmakers themselves acknowledged that when they were tasked to do this, that they really wanted to try to adhere closely to what he had made with while doing their own spin, but saying that they're finishing this movie, for Wes, because as we all know, there was a Scream 5 and Scream 6 penned when they were making Scream 4. Wes obviously didn't put all his eggs in that basket, so that's why he made the ending he did with Scream 4, where it concluded enough that if Scream 4 didn't perform well enough, then, well, they did another one, and they got a kick out of it. But if it did, they did have story avenues they were going to explore. And he did say if the script was good enough, he would definitely come back for a Scream 5 or even maybe a Scream 6. There was even the idea of shooting them back to back. But as we all know, because we liked Scream 4 enough back then that when we heard news that there was another Scream coming from West, we were like, oh boy, when's that going to happen? And we kept hearing...
First, it was a TV show.
Yeah, and we also heard that those ideas to get being made were stymied due to, issues, writers' issues, timing, getting everyone's schedules cleared up. And then the big movement happened that ended up resulting in the implosion of Miramax and all of its subsidiaries after its disgraced head producers were outed for very salacious crimes that you could easily see highlighted in Scream 3 with Bishop John Milton standing in for it, which, again, we're still surprised that any of them said, yeah, go ahead and say that part, like, out loud. But then again, if all one needs to do is turn on the news these days to see how the elite powerful...
Well, but that was up 50,000%.
Yeah. Yeah, like they'll say, yeah, the elite can think, hell, we know we can do this stuff. We know we can get away with this stuff. And hell, we'll even tell you to your face that we get away with this stuff, but we'll still keep it hush-hush. So make sure you have a nice big black page of redactedness and, everything should be fine. But enough about Washington. Let's go ahead and talk about the fact that Miramax ended up imploding due to the fallout of the scandal. And the rights were up for grabs. And, of course, one of those rights were snagged up by Skydance Pictures under the Paramount umbrella. So they were the ones that announced that they were going to be coming up with a new Scream. Now, they weren't too keen on saying if it was going to be a Scream 5 or a Scream retool or a Scream reboot. But Kevin...
Even though technically 4 was already the reboot. But...
Yeah, so... in the end, it found a new home over in Paramount, but everyone had the big burning... No, then another gut punch hit everybody when during the middle of the TV show run, it was announced that Wes Craven had unfortunately passed away, which go see our previous video about how that news shook us, especially Derica's recounting of it. I mean, it is weird to remember that you're in a world where Wes was there, and after a marathon, you're suddenly living in a world where West was yesterday. He's gone. So it's like unreal. It's like when, I'm not saying we're getting parasocial and parental with the guy, but it's like hearing that your grandfather just died or your favorite uncle. Like if you had an uncle that kept visiting all the time and then you find out from the news from a text that says, guess what, he went. You're like, I think for some fans, they felt that kind of gut punch, if that makes sense. Like I said, though, it's not to get parasocial, but that's probably what it kind of felt like for some. So then comes the question: should there even be another Scream with Wes gone? Mm-hmm. But too many iron.
There's plenty of avenues they could go for. Especially since the fact that you don't have to really be technically weighed down by just the characters themselves. I mean, literally anyone could just. It's literally the thing that everyone touts whenever they're watching the Stab movies. It's literally like anyone could just put on a costume and just snap.
Yeah. So November 2019 was when it was announced. Oh God, 2019 might as well be. The day before the big
long time ago.
Yeah, it might as well.
Far away.
You know how?
Sorry, we're just excited about the Mandalorian Grogu trailer dropping tomorrow. But
But
anyways,
okay, anyway, uh, that's pretty much BC and AC. I know people say BC before Christ, AD on a domino. No, BC before certain event, and after. You know what the C stands for. It's your favorite drink, imported Spanish beer. But anyway, the point is though, it said that the film would have a new cast with feature appearances from previous cast members, and then Kevin Williamson revealed that the official title was Scream. So I'm pretty sure that was Kevin's idea. It's Scream, just Scream. So that doesn't clear up any. Is it Scream 5? Is it a whole new reboot? Like that doesn't clear it up. So the biggest news though was that we got Radio Silence team Matt Bettinelli Olpin and Tyler Gillette. That these were the guys that were going to do it. I mean, most horror fans were probably excited about the idea, given that they already made a hit film called Ready or Not, which is getting a sequel, I hear, by the way.
yes, I should really go and watch it. I fucking knew it. Hi, Ariel.
Hello there. Nice of you to join
This
us.
is Ariel. In the comment, it's my work Betsy. Anyways, before I get distracted, yeah. So, talking about the new writers, head honchos that's steering Scream after Wes is gone.
Although
Radio Silence.
Wes's passing happened after they were hired, so I'm guessing after hearing that, that probably really put the pressure on them to say, okay, we got to finish this for Wes and everything like that. So
Sorry, we're so I guess we should be able to just quickly talk about the premise. So basically, the premise is that it is roughly about 25 years since the initial events of Scream happened that would be inspiring the Stab movie franchises in the universe. And with that comes another phone call. We know how this goes, but unlike the other times, this phone call didn't lead to an abhorrent, sickly demise of someone. No, they're actually still alive, and it brings about the return of their sibling, Samantha Carpenter, and her boyfriend Richie to the once again cursed town of Woodsboro, having to deal with another Ghostface attack. But this time, it seems to be like this killer is trying to create I dread to even use the term, a requel,
legacy sequel.
Stab franchise, like a legacy sequel to Stab, much like Halloween, the Star Wars movies,
Terminator.
Ghostbusters, and so on. But of course, we have a new group of characters that are introduced, or tied in, and some of them even have some attachments to the original stars of the first Scream movie, and are now in a close. That's a blooper. A close-knit race against death to figure out who's trying to start up this franchise.
That's funny, yeah.
It does bring a question if we're going back to Woodsboro again. Doesn't this feel like we're just doing Scream 4 again? What would be so different?
Well, as you always know, it always goes back to the beginning. You always end up back on Tatooine somehow. You always end up going back to Haddonfield. You always find a way to somehow get back to Crystal Lake. That's for sure.
Speaking of Crystal Lake, given the upcoming movie with New York City, I'll show you up, Jason. Show you how it's fucking done.
Alrighty then. So, obviously people are going, doesn't this sound like just doing Scream again? Well, yes, but the thing is that we are now in an even 10 years have passed since Scream 4, where even more new movie trends have kind of popped up and have taken off and ran wild over Hollywood, which is perfect opportunity for these guys to go ahead and take a stab at it. James Vanderbilt ended up writing the script. Kevin was a little apprehensive about doing a Scream project without Wes, but after, everything was settled, he said that I will only be a part of it if we dedicate this one to Wes, ended up, being more symbolic after his passing and such. So Kevin is kind of backseat with some rights, but this is mostly Vanderbilt and his other partner, like really writing these meta jokes where some people feel they probably put the meta a little too on it. Where, I mean, we'll talk about it when we talk about the Mindy scene, but basically, there is things to poke fun of about, because even Halloween did it. Because hell, at one point this movie was rumored to be a Blumhouse project, so Jason Blum said, "Yeah, we're not doing a Scream," but Blum did get big by taking two comedy actors, making a pass at Halloween, and then ended up becoming a big hit for them. It's kickstarting a new trilogy, which mileage may vary with people like it. In the end, I personally like it, but Anyway, so we have the premise. You get new cast of characters, but you got some of the old guard to help bring the familiars in. Is it kind of like Scream 4, right? Well, Scream 4 didn't fully commit to this new cast versus old cast. If anything, it
Exactly. That was the problem. It's like, oh, we have like this new fresh blood, but really, we all know where the focus is. It's on Cindy, it's on Gail, it's on Dewey. It's like it's just a facade, really. It's just basically just an excuse to have like your new cannon fodder characters to kill.
but this one does
Whereas here,
It does commit.
whereas here, we're definitely like getting. We do have like our kill characters around, but this time they at least have a little bit more personality. They have a little bit more panache, a little bit more to them.
A little more time
And with
put
that
to them.
And with that, even also the dread and mystery of like, one of them could be the killer.
Because we always say this every time they announce a new Scream sequel and any of the old guard shows up, we right away say, well, they're not the killer, because I know there was rumors saying, is it going to be Gale? Is it going to be Sydney? And he kept saying, listen, we were 5-6 movies in, 7 movies at this point. If they were going to snap, it would have happened by like movie 3 or whatever.
Yeah, funny enough, it's I mean, like obviously not counting the fake out scripts where we say, oh yeah, Dewey's totally the killer. It's like, yeah, no, that's no.
Although in universe,
No.
they do make a joke
Yeah.
about how down on his luck, Dewey could finally be the guy to like do it. Or even he points out like, damn, that cut really deep.
Well, maybe you might be the killer. That really hurt.
Yeah, but anyway, but the new cast, it does present the pool of suspects, but this one was one of the first movies where I actually was guessing, well, could it be them? Could it be them? So there was one that they tried to throw out where I said, okay, now you have to be the killer for suggesting that stupid asinine idea, and it ended up being proven right. But when unless we have a ghost face with a gimpy limp and a crutch chasing people, that other theory is impossible. But anyway, so speaking of which, we should probably get into it, because right off the bat, we're expecting the familiar. I did laugh at Jeremy Johns' small comment about his suspension of disbelief, where it had to be that Jenna Ortega, current age teen, is living with a house that still has a functioning landline phone and still talking through it rather than ignoring it. Which I'm laughing about that.
Which to be fair, she did actually ignore it at first, but then of course
The text.
Amber would probably be nudging her like, "Hey, maybe Wes trying to still get to you."
But yeah, so we are introduced to Jenna Ortega as Sarah Carpenter as our first opening victim. And the thing about this is you're thinking, oh, Wednesday Addams. The funny thing is, this actually predates her rise to sudden stardom with all the various projects she's done since then. I think people would say, is Scream her first big break? Well, she was considered no name enough that, it wasn't really a draw. I mean, I was surprised when I looked back at her filmography and see that she was actually Brooklyn in the Camp Cretaceous series of Jurassic World, the little pink-haired one.
Uh-huh.
But,
Hey, CQ?
hi, Corey. Nice to meet you.
No, we're still pretty early. We're just getting to the cast. We're gonna be I think we're just getting to the point where I'm just gonna end up gushing about Jenna Ortega.
And, oh my god, she is perfect for what the role is, because she plays, most teens today are savvy, smart, a little snappy, but also have she has a beyond her years type of feel too, where she's one of those types that like elevated horror over schlocky, knife movies. Pointing out how the Babadook is among there. In fact, she listed a lot of A24 stuff in her. Tell me anything about these. I'm going like, yeah, she's one of those youngsters that really like the.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with A24. They do a lot of pretty good horror movies.
I mean, didn't they do the X trilogy?
Nowadays, like if uh, did they? I
Pearl,
think they did.
X, and all those ones.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But yeah, needs to say like nowadays, like if you want a definite good horror times, either you have to see the A24 logo or Bloomhouse. It's like one of those two.
Yeah, although Blumhouse is a little more towards the traditional '80s schlocky side, which is not bad. But I'm just saying that.
Well, like I said, it's like it said entertaining. If you want it strictly good, it has to be A24.
If anything,
If you want
A24.
entertaining horror movie, it's like see the Bloomhouse logo. It's like sit tight. You're in for a roller coaster ride.
So I think A24 is like your Exorcist, your Rosemary's Baby, very psychological, cerebral stuff. And Blumhouse is everything from Puppet Master to Jason type movies.
Yeah.
Although I do love
But
their
needless to say, it was kind of telling that the Ghostface collar, again, again played by Roger L. Jackson. Just to divert quickly, I gotta say Roger probably had up his A game on like doing his vocal range, because he's no longer like stuck to the typical scary horror talking like what's your favorite scary movie kind of thing. It's like no, he decided to have a little bit more range. It's like no, I think this time I'm just gonna be like a fishing line. It's like I'll just throw it out there, but it's like just nice and easy, just kind of wind it in more and more, bait you in, and then once you're kind of hooked, then I get how Ghostface does.
which I remember.
Especially with the first call.
Remember, I told you one of my complaints going after Scream 2 was the lack of the verbal foreplay, for lack of a better word, that you would get with Billy or a couple of the other killers in the earlier Screams. Well, we kind of got it in 3, but not in the traditional sense, because Roman was just switching the voices, so you'd be like a sultry, hot, reporter voice before turning into Ghostface to tell about the girlfriend. So that's not quite the same as the lure you in and then snap you when you least expect it. But this was a return to that. Oh, and Ghostface in part 4 was just psychotic all the way through the entire calls, which I loved, but you can definitely tell that was Jill motivating that.
Jill was definitely enjoying the director's chair for a lot of it.
So, but this one, yeah, you're right. It got you. In fact, I even thought, is that even Roger? And I think it's Roger using one of his more like normal sounding voices. That he's saying he's from group therapy. But every now and then his voice would slide into the usual cadence, so it got to the point where he mentions like, "Oh, it is him."
Yeah, but Jenna's I also like, aside from okay, I'm just gonna be honest. Like the opening kills after Scream 1 are just kind of basic beats. You're just kind of like going through. It's like, okay, you're getting the phone call. You're getting this like building
Except
up. Like obviously, except to me too. That's the outlier. Although, of course, as I said, the phone call in that one is through the movie screen, which that one is a little bit more over the top, which makes it. I always have to have a giggle whenever like Janet or any other characters say like, "Oh my God, the first stab was like super '90s," and I think like, Scream wasn't that '90s. I mean, I could just pop it in and enjoy it, and it would still feel up to date. No, they're not talking about Scream. They're talking about Stab 1, and goodness knows the opening with Heather Graham with the shower.
that is '90s.
Yeah, that's '90s is ghetto. Tori Spelling and Luke Evans is just okay. Yeah,
Luke
I
Wilson.
can see where they're talking about Luke Wilson, Luke Evans, Luke Wilson, whoever is like dreamy eyed stoic Luke playing like obvious killer Billy Loomis. It's like oh yeah, it's '90s is all get out.
Oh yes, but so But like I said, though, what's great though is that we think, oh well, she gets it pretty bad already. You know, Ghostface like gives her a couple of good stabs here and there, and she is a little fighter, like all good first girls are. Well, except for Marnie and Marnie Cooper and what's the other one? Damn.
Wow, those characters are so one note you can't even remember their names.
I know. I remember Marnie because she's
Uh,
the one that crawls
uh,
away and gets the.
Olivia's the second one with the closet.
Olivia will
Jennifer?
remember. Yeah, I think it was Jen. Yeah, Jen and
Jenny, yes, Jenny Randall.
Jenny Randall and
Oh my god, I'm so proud. I did that without using the fucking like Google or IMDb like Jenna did. Take
which
that.
oh no, but that was great. That it does. I don't think Scream 4 did enough with the, digital age and analog horror. This one does show you that okay, well, obviously if Casey Becker had Google on her hands, she'd probably be able to answer some of the questions more faster for Ghostface. But
Yeah.
so I'm pretty sure the killer on the other end kind of knew she was going to do that.
She probably would have gotten like tripped up by the AI like overall Google answer of like
Oh,
who's the
no.
killer Friday the 13th.
Yeah, oh goodness, you're right. That I didn't take that into account. But
See, I always find a way to like point out the AI is like fucking stupid.
for artificial intelligence, it's very intelligent. I mean, there are some practical uses for it in some fields. I mean, you probably want your military precision drone to actually have decent intelligence to know not to blow up in your face. But other than that, I think Terminator and Small Soldiers tells us that trying to put that to small life might just backfire. Anyway, so she manages to survive her initial encounter, even though, like I said, she gets put to the ringer. I mean, we'll talk about this when we talk about the brutality in this movie, but we thought
She gets her own femur curb stomped.
she gets curb stomped on her ankle. She gets a couple of stabbing, and according to the
No, it wasn't her ankle. It was literally directly her femur.
and then the report says that she was stabbed 7 times. Now, I think maybe I'm looking too much into the number of stabbings being significant, but in universe at this point, there are 8 stab movies, but you'll find out that some are not a fan of the 8th, so I'm guessing for this killer, there are only 7 stabs.
It's basically questions like, okay, so you don't hate 8, but you like, admit that 5 was the worst of the time travel. So are you going like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, 7? How does that work?
You did. I'm sure you didn't mean to say that meme, but you did with that. Or was that planned? The whole 6, 7 thing, or did that just leave your mouth without your?
No! Oh God, no! I
You-
didn't mean it. No!
You didn't
I
even.
take it back. I take it back.
You didn't. You didn't even.
Stop it! Stop recording. Stop the recording. We're done. We're done. We killed it. We fucking killed it.
I like how you didn't realize what you just said.
Oh.
Okay.
God.
It's okay. It's okay. You're still a spring chicken for that to work. Anyway, but as I was saying though, this whole we'll talk about that when we talk about the killer motivations and a certain aspect of this character that you have lots to say about, but we'll get to that when we talk about so rhymes with I can't even make a rhyme for Blossic Pandem. Anyway, so she ends up surviving her thing, which we're going, good God. I know that Casey went through a lot, even, freaking Maureen went through a lot in the theater. Everybody else in Stab must have had 1 HP, because all it took was 1 stab most of the time to kill everybody. Oh, except for Stone. Stone had at least a buffer before getting a pan to the head.
And fucking dude, it would just find some manner of Phoenix Downs to get through 1 and 2, especially 2. Good God.
But I'm saying though, I do like that Tara Carpenter here is a bit of a tank despite being as delicate as a flower. Like I kept saying, personal aside, that Tara reminds me a lot of my own sister in both build and the mannerisms. So it was.
She does though. She really does.
So kind of seeing her.
What happens if you, I wonder what happens if you told her, say, "Oh hey sis, out of the blue, you kind of remind me of like sometimes Jenna Ortega's character in Scream 5? Is that like how bad or what?
Well, I mean, after her own personal hospital, so I'm sure the hospital scenes would hit different for her nowadays. But like, what's great though is that she is one half of a great sibling duo, a dyad. You know, our main lead, we'll get to her and Melissa Baleara's Sam Carpenter is a good back and forth springboard for her. So she's not in it a lot due to being shish kebab in the opening.
As the killers make a statement, it's like she's basically our pincushion at this point.
She still does have a presence in the film and becomes a motivating factor in the last act. And I just
especially given the fact that despite that she has so many bruisings and like broken bones,
she needs an inhaler.
Sneak around the damn house.
She needs an inhaler too. So
she goes fucking ninja mode.
Asthmatics unite. But So anyway, we do. What's great about this now? This next cast member I didn't know was going to be in this movie until I actually saw it. Was the return of Marley Shelton as Sheriff Judy Hicks. So she got a bit of a promotion. Which,
because I can really see her in the. Well, obviously the box art is, but she's like really tiny. She's like,
I didn't notice that in the poster when I was going to go see it. So when I saw Judy show up, I'm like, oh hey, they actually are acknowledging Scream 4, because I don't know why some stupid fear of me thought that they were going to do we only the first one counts type nonsense.
Oh right, yeah. Like, well, to be fair, that they only did that for Halloween because wibbly wobbly timey wimey bullshit.
Thorn Cult. If you want to give PTSD to a Halloween fan, either mention the Thorn Cult or first word being die in like 30 years. Only in the director's cut.
I'm fine.
Oh god, I brought it up. Remember me laughing my ass off at Laurie getting shot up by the cops while Love Hurts plays? Wow. I think Rob was determined not to make a Halloween 3, I guess. So he says, okay, I'm going to give you guys a version you cannot really sell to anybody. But anyway, so seeing...
Okay, you want a sequel? I'll give it to you, but you sure shit ain't gonna like it.
I actually kind of like H2 just for the balls it has to do some of the stuff it does. Anyway, but yeah, Judy is back. And like I said, she got a promotion. She is now Sheriff Hicks instead of Deputy Hicks like we last saw. I'm pretty sure what happened to the last guy.
Where's Dewey then?
Oh, well, we'll get to him in a bit. So the thing about her is that, I guess she still has to be taken seriously as the head thing, but given that she survived another Woodsboro massacre, I'm pretty sure that gave her enough credit for her to be head of the force. I mean, we all know that she had this, I gotta, do good by Dewey type of motivation she had in the first one, so to see her be, the law in town was a nice change up. And she does have a little bit of history with one of our protagonists that's a little bit antagonistic, but I just chalk that up to, I'm trying to look after your sister, and you being an influence around here might not help things out. I guess I can see where she's coming from. But at the same time, too, she's also an overly doting mother to our other character. We should probably mention them both as a package combo since they kind of go out at the same time, too. With Dylan Minette as Wes Hicks, or...
What? Almost sounds a lot like a certain director.
And I'm saying this guy must have missed his calling as playing Raccoon City prequel Leon Kennedy, because goddamn did he give me that vibe. But
9 is so fucking close. Shit. So much to do this month.
Yeah, but
one step at a time.
Yeah, so like I said, he also... What's funny about her, she makes sure that he carries bear spray, carries that to the point where he mentions that, did you protect yourself? To, social isolation, embarrassment levels of protection, yes. Which didn't do him a whole lot of good in the end, spoiler alert. But you do really get the sense that, in fact, later, the killer calls Judy... it uses her motherly instinct against her to get her going from the calm police officer of the thing to hearing that, you ever seen the movie Psycho, and she realizes, oh god.
I remember that when he said that line, my eyes just bogged. It was like, Judy, you better be double timing it right now. Oh, but then I remember, like, you know, what happens in Psycho 2? There's a certain scene with the, well, not a police officer, more of like a investigator.
Oh, that famous scene. Everybody knows it. It's the,
God, I still remember my film class in high school literally jumped when that, like, uh, huge musical sting lifted up when
yeah.
the
If I remember,
mother jumped out of nowhere.
jumped out, slashed his face. He's so shocked. And this scene pulls you as you see him fall. Like you see the stairs behind him start like rolling up because you see him from his POV as he's like slashed down the stairs and he tumbles down and you're going like, I think that's even more effective than the famous shower stabbing actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so
But didn't have quite the iconic build up as it though.
oh yeah, but like I
Which is
said,
why which is why when it happens, like it's like huge fuck all, like comes out of nowhere moment, which is exactly how the killer gets Judy.
yeah, and also another thing too about Dylan is that he's very astute and sharp. Cause I mean, I think people put him on the suspects list because he happens to know the going on's in town. But I mean, we find out later he's not on the board. But like I said, though, there's a great bit. You know, like I said, he knows the deal with Sam and Tara. You know, their estrangement along with Amber, and he also knows the deal about how that Vince creep that's been hitting on Liv a lot just won't leave her alone. And you got Chad trying to play the noble white knight for her. But yeah, but Wes seems to be like he keeps his eyes low to the ground. In fact, he can't help but do moves that make him look kind of shifty. I know he doesn't mean to. Maybe that just comes from him being hyper alert due to being the son of a police officer. And he knows that mom would probably ask every single detail about how his day to make sure he was safe and sound and all that stuff. I mean, and Judy's the kind of mom that would leave notes. Like, there's a cute moment that's a callback to 4 where he sees that she left a note that says, lemon squares are in the fridge. Like, and I thought, oh, a nice callback to 4, which, according to Dewey, they do not taste like ass, like Gail accused. But I'm guessing Gail was just steaming at that point to make that accusation.
That's a big thing, is that Wes has a bit of a crush on Tara. So of course, her being nearly killed would probably set him off to be taking all this pretty seriously. In fact, I think the big joke is that he's as Tia would say, it's like, I am the serious one of the group. That is the joke.
Oh, God. But if anything, he's kind of like a more serious Derek when you think about it. And like Derek didn't make it to the end, but oh god, when he goes out, we'll talk about the kills in detail. But when he goes out, you're kind of like oofing. I heard you.
I went so bad. It's like, okay, thank you, we got it. Thank you. You can cut now. Oh my god, stop.
Oh, but he does have a very great scene where he is setting up so much obvious the classic Scream fake out where close the door.
Almost kind of basically like a homage to the fake outs that Scream 1 had when we were following Sid in her house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember the infamous, like, the music drone as the closet door opens, and it's like, and nothing! That was a big old pile of nothing.
They did a bunch of that with Wes, and it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie, actually. It's that when it does finally hit, 'cause you're waiting for the hit, you're like, oh god, it's gonna be right here, and nope, just the door. Okay, he's getting the sauce, and he's gonna obviously be there once the fridge closes, right? And oh, it's clear. Well, he's probably behind that area he's about to walk into, and nope, he's just setting the table. To the point where you're like, okay, maybe this whole thing isn't, and oh god, there he is. But like he says, him being named Wes is obviously a great way, like after his passing, that the other characters hold a morning wake for him, and they do a great toast to yell to Wes, which I think for us as the audience feels like a moment of like, oh crap, this is also like, yeah, like you're raising your soft drink or whatever drink of choice, at the screen with them when they're going for Wes.
Yeah.
We should
Which
probably.
makes you wonder, it's like, do they actually mean to have a character, or is it just an excuse to just have the in-universe cast just toast the Craven?
Oops, what's happening? Oh, you okay?
What's happening? What?
Oh
I'm
no.
still here.
Oh yeah, sorry. I heard like some but I don't know if that was on my end, but oh, remember Tyson and the Bruce Campbell treatment? Oh yeah, that was also pretty brutal. Anyway, so our next cast member on this list would be this poor. I almost put.
Sonia Amar as Liv McKenzie, the chick with the red highlights in her hair.
I almost wanted to touch up your thumbnail by having her in the Colin Weary posted a shirt that says "I'm not the killer," because poor her, she it is so funny because she already
Why did
had.
I think of that? Damn, she. I don't think she had that much. I I don't want to say it. Like I have the fake out red herring. She's like one of my favorites because she really is kind of sick and tired of all the bullshit that's going around.
Oh, and she gets just taken out of the equation like that. It's like shocking when it happens. Your brain barely has time to catch up to Welcome to Act 3. But
Yeah.
but she is great because the thing is she already had problems before having her best friend nearly chopped up. Already having problems at the summer with a summer fling with some creep that just doesn't take the hint and always shows up in his sporty, a muscle car. And she also has Chad Meeks pining for her affections, but at the same time, he's savvy enough to know, like, I'm not 100% sure you may or may not be the killer, which ends up being a complete mood killer for her. But we know that they're kind of serious because he talks about this new app they make where they'll be able to, like, keep tabs on each other's phone signal, which half romantic, half red flag, if you ask me. But it's like, yeah. So she is there to be the thing, and the funny thing is that another character comments that she's too boring to be the killer, and she makes a very good moment where she says, "Well, maybe that's the big twist, that I'm so boring that I'm actually the perfect candidate because nobody saw this one coming." But she's clearly like just playing along with it because she's like frustrated at this whole thing where her friends are getting chopped up left and right. There's animosity between her best friend and her best friend's sister. It's she's just she's the most normal of the people in this whole thing.
Like, well, her and Wes. Like, I think those are the only two that are. Whereas everyone else is just like personality on full display.
But oh goodness, yeah. And so we bring her up because she does have a few good scenes, but she does get a memorable exit because it's just so shocking when it happens. But like I says though, her comedic bit is definitely when like this when she's ready to take it to the next level with Chad, and he puts that they got to go somewhere isolated where he's going, I'd stay here with the people because I'm still not sure. And rightfully so, Liv was pissed off.
And before she ever gets the chance to like redeem herself, she basically just gets like ousted. It's like, well, yeah, obviously you're not the killer. I am.
Boom. So since we mentioned him too, this guy's even more of a less impression. I even said, God, technically he's the first victim of this massacre, but he's like the Sarah Darling of I'm only in two scenes before I get capped, with Kyle Gallner as Vince Schneider, aka Creep with a Muscle Car and a 90s mullet who can't take no for an answer. And obviously he was probably set up to be another red herring guy, like, oh, well, this guy has creep factors that maybe he's so retro that maybe he's the killer and all. But no, he's just there to be a problem for Liv and for Chad to show off his hey, I'm a good guy type guy. And I mean, they even point out how he brings out a switch knife, which is a far cry from a Bowie knife, murder, hunting knife murder. So,
Mhm.
I mean, the thing is that he's just there to be your okay, maybe it's him, but the movie quickly tells you nope by having him fall victim to.
And we're not even gonna bother with the red herring bullshit. We're just gonna take him out.
The best part though was
Probably like, oh, of course, your best part would be
no,
hearing
but what's funny.
that song coming back up.
It's funny, yeah. He's taking a leak out behind the wall, and all of a sudden, his muscle car turns on, where he thinks maybe it's one of those nerdy kids messing with it, and they suspiciously set the radio up to play the Nick Cave song "Red Right Hand," which I'm going, okay. So I make this joke where as he turns it off, Ghostface is right behind him, like the hey, I was listening to that, and just gives him a nice good neck stab. But the advertising sure loved this scene because in the trailer there are like 3 different angles of the same action happening to him that aren't in the final movie of him crawling on the ground and everything. But I said,
Well, well, technically, one angle is in the movie, but it's like the aftermath of it.
yeah. But I said this though, although the next slice is cool, and I know that the killer is being true to the stab lore, but this was a missed opportunity to just go Christine on his ass. Where you have the light turning on, you got the muscle car, you could have had Ghostface just drive the car into the guy into the wall.
I'm not sure that would be a good call. Remember the last time a Ghostface was behind the wheel of a car?
Oh, yeah, and we know they don't
Yeah,
have great.
that almost didn't go well for him.
We know they didn't have good visibility in those masks either. Like I know you have one of those masks maybe lying around, but I do not recommend testing what would driving around in those things be like at all. But maybe as a passenger, but anyway, like I said though, yeah, he's just there to be the thing. But it turns out he does have a connection to everything. When they find out that the killer is making jump backs to people connected to the franchise in some way. Wes and Judy were in a previous movie that was based on a sequel in the previous massacre. Dewey's there.
Which Mindy let their guard down by saying like no one cares about the shitty inferior sequels unless you're safe. So good job of that one, Mindy. Can't wait to talk shit about you when we get to your character.
And then it turns out that this no-name guy is actually he's the son of the sister of Stu Macher.
Oh my god, the fucking hoops of this. I'm seriously considering if like the killer, one of the killer's like targets is gonna be someone's relative of someone's father's nephew's cousin's former roommate.
What does that make us? Oh my god, Dewey reminds me so much of Lone Star, Bill Pullman at times. Oh my god.
Right down to the damn jacket.
Imagine if
Right down to the damn jacket!
Imagine if Bill Pullman was brought in. This would be stupid as hell, but I'd be all for it. As a uncle or cousin or sibling of the Riley family.
At this point, it's like, okay, but how come I never heard you until now?
Oh, then again, it happened with John Cena and the guy talking all about family and Fast and Furious series, where I love family, except to talk about my one brother who I became estranged from, and all this stuff happened. Anyway, we should also talk about, now we got to the more critical people, because everyone we mentioned are kind of just in the outer orbit of everything. These people actually have more of an impact on the plot. So we have Jasmine Savoy Brown as Mindy Meeks
Martin.
Mindy Meek. Oh my god, her name's a tongue tire. Mindy Meeks Martin, which makes her the niece of Randy Meeks, Jamie Kennedy's character, which they highlight by showing a memorial in their living room, home theater memorial set up to a picture of Jamie Kennedy as Randy.
I had to wonder, say, I feel like this gets a lot of creative license there, because that doesn't look at all like how he did in the first Scream movie.
I'm guessing it must have been an artistic portrait that they commissioned of him. But
like do this, but like actually give her like a spine.
yeah, but oh my goodness, so she is to be our Randy expert, the one that knows how things are going down, because we all know Randy has that scene where he's explaining prom night is the best way to figure out, the dad's a red herring and everything like that. He's also there to like tell you there are certain rules, no drinking, none of this or that. So Mindy fills that role when they all go have a meeting to an expert, where our characters take Dewey to a meeting where they all talk about how whatever's going on must be the sign of a legacy sequel that's not quite a reboot, not quite a sequel. So as Mindy coins the term, a requel, which she says the fans are still debating on what the actual terminology is. And I keep yelling out, nobody I know ever calls it that.
In real world, we call it a revival, or literally what it is, it's a reboot. And like, what's the difference between reboot and remake? Say, okay, Scream 4 is remake. It's literally like hitting the same exact damn beats as the first movie. Whereas here, it's a reboot. It's if like you turn if something's getting buggy or rotten or something, like your computer system, you turn it off and you reboot it so you get back to where you're like started.
Hmm. And requels are sequels that don't quite commit to a complete fresh restart, but it still kind of does, but also still follows up on the previous storylines. And Lord knows we've seen that with Jurassic World, Terminator Dark Fate, Matrix Resurrections, uh, Tron Legacy to some extent. uh,
At this point, they're not even like requels; they're just straight up sequels. It's like the Star Wars movies.
oh yeah, yeah. That I'm surprised they threw that in there and going, but that was confirmed to be a straight up, follow up. But anyway, so they go with the trendy requel thing, and she's the one that is. I think someone did say she kind of comes off as sometimes that she doesn't take the whole thing seriously because there's a bit where she's getting high at a party after just scolding her brother for, having drinks in their toast to Wes, and she does get a great moment where she's watching a guy playing her uncle, watching Jamie Lee Curtis, not realizing there's a killer behind them, while also a ghost face is walking up right behind her, and half
Very lavish costume, may I add.
half high as fuck, yelling at the TV until her sixth sense kicks in. She's all like, "Uh oh."
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This seems like an actual opportune moment that would cause me to. Oh shit!
And the thing is, she is savvy enough because she's the one that confronts Amber for wandering into the garage for some more beer, which we all know what happened to poor Tatum Riley when that
Not
happened.
the garage. This time it's not the garage. This time it's the basement.
Were there clowns farting in the basement?
Oh god.
Oh god, I gotta make an edit of that scene where Amber walks in and that music just starts playing. But she does tell her that, last thing you do when someone is carving up somebody is go into a dark place all by yourself. And which Amber counters with, what you also shouldn't do is follow somebody down a dark place because this could be a good place to set up a trap. And they're both trying to size each other up. And I love that bit though with she tries to psych her up by saying, "I know you're not the killer. How's that?" "Because I am." And I'm going, "No, I'm not."
Wait, what?
I like how even Amber's like, "Hold on."
Wait, what the fuck?
And then they go up. I she go up the stairs. She goes, "Well, after you," and she points out how good Amber's learning. But yeah, so
The concept of like a rogue killer encountering like another killer, though.
put a pin on that one.
Hmm.
So, but the I know people. She is funny, and Savoy is talented, but her first scene's okay when they're at the group party after hearing about Tara's attack, but the whole requel scene, you're either gonna like her in it, or you're gonna have a lot of "oh fuck you" moments with her. Which during our screening, Derica did have to say, "Oh, I almost wish that attack scene in 6 probably took you out in light of that." Like I said, I guess especially with the whole. Anybody tied to the previous movies are probably a target because their uncle was a target. Dewey was a survivor in all of them. Our main hero has a parentage related to the original, and even West points out, "But my mom was in one of those." And then she says that, "Relax, no one cares about the shitty inferior sequel characters. You should be okay." But you go, "Ah, great."
Now my question is like, wait, they made a movie that had your mom in it? As far as my count goes, like there's only been like 7 Stab movies by the time of Scream 4, and then you have Stab 8. Did they implement her in this Stab 8?
I'm guessing because that's the one everybody didn't like. And on top of that, I'm guessing Stab 8 took cues from the Woodsboro remake, but due to the whole Sidney Prescott lawsuit thing, probably still ongoing, they decided to change up some elements. I mean, maybe getting the Knives Out guy as director might be a good way to do that.
The killer in one of the phone calls just mentioned that everyone knows the answer. Sidney's in all the movies except the last one.
But
Okay, I guess that's the best we can think of, but
although but remember what the
otherwise Wes is literally like breaking the fourth wall and saying metatextually, like his mom was in one of the Scream movies, not the Stab movies. Which,
But
that would lead to a whole other can of worms.
Don't forget, this is a universe where they watch Halloween, and a Halloween sequel has a Scream sequel playing on it. Remember wrapping our head around that one.
Uh,
But don't forget, the original joke for that one was they were watching Mike Myers' So I Married an Axe Murderer movie, but they couldn't get the rights to that. So Dimension had Scream, and they figured, let's plug in a Scream movie. But didn't they watch Halloween in the first Scream? Let's just put it in a Scream movie. Like, okay. But anyway, but then again, didn't they say in the opening of Scream 4 that only the first 3 movies are based on Sidney's life? All the rest of them started just, making up stuff. So, did they still have a Sidney character, I guess? Despite...
I'd have to think that. We're getting way off topic, but needless to say that Mindy really pissed me off for the fact that she insists that the character that's, like, hoping to, like, get everyone ready, prepared that this all is happening is the killer. Like, she literally accuses Sam of being that the killers in this movie are trying to, like, literally get everyone to think.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, that would have consequences way down the line next movie. So, good job, Mindy. You just fed into the machine to destroy a wonderful person's life. Ya bitch.
But she does work well with her co-star, which is her brother character, Mason Gooding, as Chad Meeks Martin. And oh my gosh, his job is to be the jock, the boyfriend.
To the degree where it's like, are you actually a jock, or are you just like got already enough of the natural build and just physique to just play that off?
Well, he's definitely got the guns, that's for sure. Those guns didn't do him a whole lot of good with the ghost face, but still. Also, Guy is down bad. He is really down bad for Liv because he keeps trying to stand up for her whenever creepy Vince shows up, willing to get into a knife fight with the guy. When he has to go help finding Liv and Mindy says not without some weapon, he pulls out a big ass candlestick to at least have some protection while he's tracking for a signal from Liv outside of the crowd space.
I'm sorry, are we watching Scream or fucking Clue?
And oh my god, when he
now that I say about it, a Scream themed Clue game would be totally badass to have.
Yeah, I don't know if Hasbro would say, like, I don't know if we want our brand associated with...
I mean, come on, there's like plenty of like different like branding tie-ins to Clue this year. It's like, for fuck's sake, I've seen a Doctor Who one of all things. Like
that makes sense.
And portray the Doctor.
Would you say it's a whodunit?
Shut up.
Oh, that's also another thing too. Mindy points.
But seriously, it would definitely be more doable of a Scream game to do than the actual Scream board game, where it's basically just like, oh, here's a thing, but mostly the way to play the game is like you need to download an app to your phone.
Ah, that's stupid.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. It's like, at this point, it's like, okay, so why don't I just get the app and then just play it that way?
Like,
why do I gotta buy it? Like, I don't even know how much this is going for it. Let me just quickly talk about Chad.
That would make for a bad episode of Board James. I mean, they managed to make that little mystery date phone game into like a Scream style, shenanigans. All right.
It's like all over the place. It's like at the low end, it's like $20. It's like, okay, great, cool. It's like $20 for like something that needs like an app to function.
So anyway, like I says, Chad is likable enough. I think between the two Meeks siblings, he is easily the one that you kind of want to see make it out to the end. Like I said, he's the one that leaves the toast to Wes and called him a beautiful son of a bitch, which he mentions, why are you drinking out awake? I am mourning. This is how I choose to mourn. Plus, it also takes my mind off the looming specter of death. So he has some of that same snappiness that his Uncle Randy does.
Uh-huh.
And we should also mention that their mother is once again played by Martha Meeks, is Heather
Heather Materazzo. Heather
Matarazzo,
Matarazzo.
which, oh god, poor Martha must be out of the loop, because when she sees Dewey again, she asks, how's the wife? And we're
How's
going,
your wife?
oh
Like, oh
no.
my god, can you just go?
Yeah. So it's so funny that
Uh,
it's a nice,
Speaking of, I guess. Oh,
it is a
did
nice
you want
callback to
something
Scream,
more?
a nice callback to Scream 3. Don't shoot, I'm only 17.
Well, I guess we could move on to like another returning cast series. Bring out David Arquette as Dwight Dewey Riley. Yep, not a deputy, not a sheriff. He's just Dewey.
And oh goodness, this is either something you're okay with, or this is what rubs people the wrong way about the fact that Dewey has been done and dirty by the time of this thing. Because last we checked, he happily had 10 years of marriage to Gail Weathers. He was the head sheriff, and he had survived a couple of those.
He literally got the stem cell research to fix his goddamn limp
And now here he is, living in a trailer, unshaven, looking at Gail on the TV, separated.
with cold cereal.
And like people are going like, oh come on, like they were going to make it work, and it turns out that it was Dewey himself was just to call it off due to being small town cop in a big city was just not going to work for him, and he didn't have the courage to tell Gail no for a career. So it's not like Gail chose her career over him like the first time they split up back in Scream
No,
3.
I think after 4 times, Big Gail realized like, okay, you know what? No, I'm gonna be the one to try to make it work. But no, it was Dewey that like opted to make sure that she didn't make that choice on him.
Yeah, and like it says though, and he also he's no longer sheriff due to the fact that the police force asked him not to be. I'm guessing losing Gail after a while made him decide he just wasn't in the right headspace to be the sheriff anymore. I'm guessing he might have been the one to nominate Judy as his successor, though, which makes sense given that their closeness.
And the fact that she survived the Woodsboro incident, so
Yeah. So, but yeah, Dewey is there to be our Han Solo, our Kevin Flynn, our character who's been through it all that has to kind of pass on this knowledge to our new blood. Our Alan Grant to Maisie Lockwood.
wait, Alan Grant didn't die in Jurassic.
Well,
Oops, I gave away the Big Bang, didn't I?
does it say the legacy character has to bite it? I mean, Laurie Strode was penned for that, but she didn't. Wait, that's another way Dewey is. He's kind of like the Laurie. I don't mean, people would argue that's more Nev's role, but I think Dewey feels
It
more.
is.
But I think Dewey feels more that role around here, and he, like I said, though, he is approached by our main cast to go ahead and give a hand. And I love when he mentions you got like 2 seconds to say your reason for I should talk to you, and they mention that I'm the daughter of Billy Loomis, and he goes,
That is a terrible reason to talk. Oops,
but
parts just fell off.
okay, so when we talk about the rules, there actually are 2 sets of rules. There's the kind of rule of a legacy sequel that Mindy laid out, and then there's the rules that Dewey set out, which we'll talk about in detail. But pretty much, we laughed on rewatch that he pretty much Randy would be so proud of Dewey because he's been so savvy enough that he was able to figure out rules on his own that pretty much give away the ending.
Mm-hmm. He lists stuff like don't look at your boyfriend love interest.
And oh goodness, and like I said, but what's great is that they keep insisting he comes back, and he's thinking like, listen, I've already been put through the ringer, I got a limp, I've been stabbed 9 times, which fans have to like count in their head, and either that was an oversight from the writers where he's being hyperbolic to really get the idea like, look, I've been through a lot already. My sister is dead. I got stabbed in the back with permanent nerve damage. One of my best friends was hacked to death in a van. I got hacked inside of a friggin' sound booth. I was.
To be fair, we don't know how many times he got attacked in the Mocker house in the first movie.
Mm-hmm. Then he is thinking, I got humiliated
by by an angry director, and also the girl that looked after me ended up getting shish kebab too. Uh, I was married, but then all of my best friends and her friends were starting to get killed and I was coming late to the scene, and then my wife almost buys it. I got hit in the head by a bedpan. Like Dewey is just had like Stone had a point. Well, you look at your career; it kind of reads like the obituaries page. So you can see why Dewey's hesitant with the whole being brought back into this thing, but you can tell that the sense in him couldn't leave well enough alone. His first concern is to call Sydney, saying, "Oh God, if there's another psycho killer running, no doubt they're probably gonna try to get Sid." So his first instinct is to say, "Stay away from this town. No matter what you hear, just
It,
stay."
it's probably they're probably just baiting you for some like goddamn fucked up reason. They always do.
And well, of course,
And then oh he gives Gale the same warning
in a text,
via text with a smiley emoji in it.
and he realizes, "Oh crap, maybe I shouldn't have sent the emoji." Even Gale gets on his case with, "Really? Through a text? Well, I didn't know if you were alive or not." But yeah,
He still definitely has the big dad energy going where he's like able to keep watch out for Sam Carpenter every time she has to go
uh,
and do something, especially when she has to go to the hospital to like save her sister because the Judy Hicks murder really got the police that were assigned there to come over, and that pissed Sam. I was like, "Who the hell's at the hospital with my sister?"
and there's a part where she's running every red light with Dewey saying, we gotta be alive if we want to help her. And he also brings out his old sheriff revolver that he kept with him when he decides to go back and join. And oh my god, the music decides to play this moment up by having him return to the Broken Arrow theme.
It is something we last only heard since Scream 2.
Yep. And on top of that, though, there's a line in The Force Awakens where I knew where it was going. It didn't help that a Deadpool versus Boba Fett video had a commenter spoil that thing literally a day before I went to go see it. But there's a line where I started to realize,
I'm so sorry about that, man.
oh yeah, you don't I don't blame you. Don't worry, I don't blame you. But
By the way, speaking of spoilers, we're getting to that weird zone, guys. It's like be wary of your search histories, your algorithms, anything that's gonna try to push like if you've been following videos like ours or like trailers, like just
Scream
stay
7
away.
spoilers.
Stay the fuck away.
Yeah.
I almost got lured into like see this article. It's like, oh, Scream 7 will be the first to admit this one aspect, and fans are not going to be happy about it. And it's like, nope, I'm not touching it. I'm not going to see what the hell they're even talking about. Just
I know
forget it.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I think it's overblown just from a side comment that Kevin made. He just said that it's gonna be we're not gonna try to play up the meta nature too much versus the kills.
That's honestly what I suspected for it, because at this point it's like 30 years. Everyone and their grandma is already savvy to it. The meta thing is just like a nice pull for the first couple movies, but by this point we're now here for the characters, and especially as we're going through and discussing this movie in particular, the characters themselves hold up the movie more than the fucking meta nonsense does.
It feels like the requel scene was more for we need a scene explaining stuff rather than actually having anything really to say about them. I think the rant that the killer makes at the end has more to say about in the meta than the requel rules does. But
yeah.
So the other character we should mention too that hasn't missed her step but is probably a little less is Courtney Cox as Gale Weathers, Riley.
I'd argue that Sydney is in a little bit less
than Gale.
But
Yeah. Sydney is like the. Oh god, you had the perfect analogy for her.
I was this close to like Okay, so when I was originally drawing the thumbnail background for this, like I was gonna have me trying to hold Gale back in tears for Dewey, and then have sitting in the other part and says, holding up a sign that says, "Well, I'm still here," but the place of the things like, okay, well, I gonna make Cindy be the one to hold Gale back, so.
But yeah, she's kind of still in the background, like behind the foreground, so it kind of feels like I'm in it, but I'm not.
Yeah, that's really meant that. Sure, we'll go with that.
Oh, but actually, I think we should just mention both of them in this note together. So we have Nev Campbell returning as Sydney, but returning is a strong word for her role in this movie.
It's more of like a contractual obligation.
And what's great though, you said it best as we were watching this, and I was talking about how one scene in particular got a lot of playthrough in the ad time. That we said she pretty much was the Solid Snake during the advertising of Metal Gear 2, where you thought, oh, I'm going to play through Solid Snake through all this adventure. And then, who's this riding guy?
She's, oh god, he would just worry himself. She's literally in the middle of the goddamn cover art.
As if she had as big a part to play as Sam.
Yeah, sure she does.
No, but here's the thing. So Gale is there to be like the motivation factor for Dewey. And after, events happen with him that result in his untimely demise, she is motivated more than ever. Although we did laugh at a backhanded compliment to 3, where they're driving up and she goes telling Stewie, saying, man, if I hadn't wrote that stupid book, this is all my fault. And I'm sure Roman from Hell's yelling, fuck you too.
Oh, thanks, bitch.
Yeah. Because I love it. You didn't start this, Gale. It was Billy Loomis and Stu Mocker. And after today, I'm going like, Roman just left out in the cold again. But then again, she didn't have the best relationship with her brothers, so I don't blame her for counting them out.
Yeah. But, okay, I guess we should probably talk about Dewey. So, yeah, you are, like, listed off so many of the characters, the legacies, like Han Solo and, like, all manner of the others. I was like, well, they're back, but they're also going to
that was my point.
Having a big sacrifice.
So that was my point when I mentioned Han Solo.
And the worst part is, like, he didn't even have to go back to, like, double tap Ghostface. Like, the main issue is, like, to get Tara out safely, and they did that.
So
but, Dewey, he just had to go back.
I had the feeling in the previews.
He fell into the same trap that Sidney was going to fall into in the second Scream movie, where it's like, no, I have to find out who this is, and of course it cost her a life. Of course, in Scream 2's case, it was her best friend. In this case, it was all Dewey's fault on that one.
So the thing is, I knew where this was going when I saw the previews. When I saw that scene of Dewey walking forward solemnly with the bullets coming out of his gun, and it looked like a showdown was going to happen, I'm all like... And then you see a later shot of Gale being held back, I'm going, they're going to go there, aren't they? That's what I thought when I...
But of course, there's, like, some fans like, come on, he's already survived, like, 2 other instances that's made it to part 5.
So here's where
At this point, I'm pretty sure Dewey's, like, invincible.
So here's where I knew where it was going. Stewie said, Sydney tells Dewey that, well, whoever's you're protecting after this time, I'm sure glad to have you to look after them. And Dewey has a look of like, because he was going to stay out of it. But when Sid told him, I was thinking like, shit, now I really got to look after them. That's where I'm going, oh, I said it's the same line as with Han Solo, ready to go to the base to go save Rey from the First Order starship. And Leia says, and if you happen to see our son, bring him home. And I realized in that minute, oh, Leia, you just gave Harrison the biggest I love you gift ever by giving him what he's been asking for since Jedi.
A noble, unfair death.
Well, Dewey's got no sister. He's got a wife that's he's estranged from, so I guess it's up to him to make the noble sacrifice. I find a way to somehow stick in that Harrison Ford quote about no mama, no papa somehow. But thing is, and here's the thing: the movie makes sure, music-wise, gore-wise, to let you know, as Thanos told Loki, no resurrections this time.
Ugh.
In fact, this move is
Well,
actually.
a little bit of fake falsehood at that line, considering that we got like 2 fucking TV shows out of the dude now. So,
Time travel
oops.
shenanigans, but that Loki in particular did die in Infinity War. But anyway, the thing is that move that is used to dispatch him, the honorable move, is actually a throw move in MK1 for the Ghostface, where he'll get one knife to the stomach and another knife to the back and just cut upward. Now I wonder if that triggers a brutality, and it should if that's the case.
I'm pretty sure there must be a brutality. Probably it's an honor brutality.
But I mean, here's the thing: the trailers use Sydney looking around the Mocker household, which spoiler ends up in the Stuart Mock house. Because remember what, as the saying goes, it always goes back to the original. And the thing is that they have Sydney going around with Ghostface with a knife, going, "It's an honor, like it's finally an honor to finally go after Sydney Prescott." But no, that line is used for when Dewey walks back, unloads his 6-shooter again, puts it up, and he's about to like cap Ghostface right in the head. But before he does that, there's a part where he mentioned, "I got to go back and shoot him in the head," and Sam's like, "Who gives a shit?" So, I do.
Oh, unfortunately, I do not see anything that infers like it's an honor or anything like that.
Anyway, but so
All I see for brutalities are the classic, feeling a little woozy, a bit mad, every time. Please don't kill me. Deputy dead.
maybe Deputy Dead's
Might
it.
be it.
But
We'll look it up later. But
Uh,
let's face it, God's surprise and the secret brutality is always outnumbered upper.
I do love the I'm feeling kind of woozy here. I think you cut too deep, man. But then again, yeah. So the thing is that he's ready to put the coup de grace on Ghostface, but then his phone from Gale rings trying to get a hold of him, and that's when Ghostface takes that minute to take one to the gut, then brings out a second knife, because there's a great moment earlier where Dewey tries to save Tara, ends up getting tackled, and Ghostface is going to stab him in the face, but he kicks back with a "not today." So when Ghostface gets a second knife in him, he yells out, "Yes, today!"
Yes, today.
And just keeps cutting and cutting, where you go like, "Oh yeah, he is not." I think the only way they could have made it more undignified is if you actually do see his bowels fall out and everything.
Ugh.
No, but you do see a good pile of blood starting up. And the thing is that before he goes out, he does see that Gale was calling him, and then Ghostface decides to kick his limp body over as the final insult to injury, but not before proclaiming that it was an honor. And oh my gosh, I heard you. I'm like, oh, it's gonna happen, and I heard you just going through it as he was getting gut like a turkey right there.
That's revisiting that scene. These fucking hormones, I swear to God.
And then it got worse when like it says, when they have him wheeled away and they know like, okay, he is infinito. He is gone. He is.
He's not wheeled off with like an IV up his nose like every time. No, he's in the bag.
And
Once you're in the bag, that's pretty much it. That's confirmed. You're dead.
yeah, and the thing is that we also argued about this point that if it wasn't Dewey, who else of the legacy could they probably logically have taken out?
I opted it has to be Sydney. Because at this point, the girl's been through a hell of a lot. I honestly don't think she has anywhere else to go but down
Mm-hmm.
on the ground.
But Dewey did make the logical sense from where he was at story-wise for his role, and for, as the killers put it, to say that we have stakes going on here. Because if Dewey can go, because that was always the expectation. Okay, any of these new kids, they're definitely hamburger meat.
That was supposed to be like the big like pull of like the original trilogy, the third outing. It's all bets are off, but it's like really it's like, well, all bets are off unless you're betting on Dewey, Gale, or Sydney to die. In which case, sorry, out of luck on that one.
But yeah, So the what also happened is that, like I said, so Gail does get a great comeback moment where she taunts one of the killers, really pissed off, saying, "You just killed one of my best friends." So, but one moment that did get you, that was when she's in the middle of her news report, but she recognizes Dewey, and she says like the Riley name all softly,
That's like, yeah, it's Scale Riley.
and then she
It's
just
Weathers.
and she decides to go ahead and confront Dewey on his leaving in the middle of the night about how he admitted that he was too much of a coward to him. She says, "Dewey Riley, you are a lot of things, but a coward is not one of them." So of course, you have to go back and die. So Gail and Sydney decide to say, "Yeah, we're going to go ahead and follow our new girls, even if they want our help or not, because they're in it, we're in it." And like Sydney, she has a good motivation for showing up. By the way, she learned when Dewey asked her if she armed. She says, "I'm Sydney fucking Prescott. Of course I got a gun." Which we're going. I guess she learned after the incident in part 4.
It's seriously not over that. Like, Sydney, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, you could, like, obviously you're on a book tour. Sure, you don't want to like be painting yourself in a bad image. But come on.
But I'm sure she's figured. But she was finally free at the end of 3. No more Ghostface to worry about coming after her until her cousin decided to kickstart the whole thing again.
And at that point, she's like, fuck it. I'm just always gonna have this thing on me 24 goddamn 7.
And she mentioned she had no intention of going back to town, but after hearing Dewey gone, I guess it made sense for her to actually be there for Gail.
Although she, well, the way you describe it, I'm pretty sure at some point she decided to come back, like, regardless, because otherwise she's like, that's gonna be a fast trip for her to make.
And she also did say this. She said that she also wants to be there to help Sam stop this new killer because her kids aren't safe until she puts this effort in the ground, as she puts it.
They pull a pin on that one, double time too. That's what we're all leading up to.
But oh my gosh, she like I says, she also mentions a mark that she'll keep, which again was written to be Mark Kincaid by Patrick Dempsey, but scheduling conflicts prevented that from being a thing. And they were going to probably follow it up in a potential 6, but then Nev was kicked out of that picture, which kiboshed, Patrick ever being back in one of these things. And it's been confirmed that she's not married to Johnny Cage.
I gotta say, it's like, and we're gonna be a little bit ahead here, but with like giving Sid such a shit money dough and for 6 to make her exit, then cause it happen with Melissa in part 7. It's like, are we sure it's okay for Skydive to have Scream at this point? Because they make some pretty shit calls.
No kidding. This Courtney's great. In fact, there's a great moment where one of the false killers is coming out, like, crying, pretending to the whole "I've been hurt" thing. And they both know right away. Trap. And they open fire.
Oh, fuck it.
And, oh goodness, I think they got put through this movie more than they did any of the past 4.
Oh my god, Gail didn't even get through the front door before getting, like, wounded.
Getting shot again. Like she got shot when Mickey just misfired. That one still it's more funny to me than anything. It's like a Looney Tunes almost thing happened, where Mickey gets shot multiple times by Mrs. Loomis, and then he kind of just off hands the trigger and oh, there goes Gail.
Two birds, one stone.
Yeah, but he like I said, she manages to have some fight in her. I think Courtney got a lot more to do than Nev in terms of like really putting the kibosh on him, to the point where she even gets the honor of saying, "You want this one?" And Sydney tells her, "No, this one's all you." But I like that.
Fuck you.
I do love
Boom.
that Sid does give more of that sage advice to Sam, where you'll get better eventually, that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
she kind of fills the role of an Obi-Wan, if that makes any sense, without dying, thankfully. And oh god, when you get to her Ghostface call, sorry, she really is. She's been through.
She's basically like a leveled up D&D player. It's like, nope, I've already done all this bullshit. Like, I'm rolling like high like shit. What's the
The Nat 20s.
no the wisdom checks, the wisdom saves, whatever the
Yeah, but it was funny. I've heard everybody when she's all like saying, "Oh, come on, really? The first house? You're probably the most derivative of them all."
maybe. But I got you here, didn't I?
And she goes like, and I caught she mentions how he was gonna do the whole trick, and she goes like, she has no time for it. She actually hangs up on him. You want to go be like, no, 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 wait,
Wait, no.
and then she caps the right place.
Yeah.
But oh goodness, she, like I said though, she now this people see Nev as a badass. This movie does have Sydney as the badass people see her as. I'm not saying she wasn't in the other four, but she always had that quiet strength. But the Metal Gear comparison does make sense because when you play as Raiden and you see Snake doing stuff alongside you in a much more badass fashion than you go, wow, he really is the legend. Because when you
The legendary Solid Snake. People touted the first Solid game.
yeah, like when you play as Snake, you know he's going through it. You get his feelings and his thoughts. But when you're seeing it from the outside as Raiden, he seems like, wow, he really is every bit the legendary, awesome guy they say he is. So Sid, being that outsider view for Sam, does fill that void of, oh, she's the way the movies have always said she's been. I'm surprised that friggin' Richie didn't super fanboy over. Oh, I forgot he's not a fan of the Stab movies, but put a pin on that. About be shaking hands with the Sidney Prescott. Okay, we should probably go ahead and go on to our new actual lead, though.
The actual star, Melissa Barrera as Samantha Carpenter Loomis.
So the big twist here is that she is indeed the daughter of Billy Loomis. And she has a very dramatic scene where she's revealing to Tara her true parentage that she says might be the reason this whole thing even started. Because, pardon.
Of course, actually, the first hint we get that is like she is on her own in a hospital, and what does she see when she looks up in the mirror? But Ulrich, what are you doing here? I thought you're dead.
They actually brought back Billy Loomis, but Skeet Ulrich in some de-aging to make him look as he did in '96. Now, I know some people go, "Oh, now we're bringing Ghost into this." I'm saying, well, I'm not going to say that this Billy is literally the spirit of Billy Loomis come back to haunt Sam, but that Sam's trauma at finding out that she's not even her father's daughter, and screwed up come under her mom that left the family and left Tara broken, probably was so traumatic enough that she had these psychotic breakdowns and she would be taking these suppressant pills. But I'm guessing with the recent murders and Tara nearly being shish kebabbed, probably manifested those into a strong sense of why this is all happening. So in her mind, she's seeing it as Billy Loomis, which I would argue is the same way how Sydney was seeing these ghostly visages of Maureen in her dreams that were like, though not the loving memories of her own mother, but the way everyone said her, how she's a harlot, she's poison. So the Maureen she would see in her dreams was very vindictive and very So that was from her own personal trauma of dealing with Mrs. Loomis and Billy and everything. How they all said this is all because of your mother. So I guess that manifested in the physical manifestation of her dream being, oh, her mom's haunting her. So I'm going to say that Billy is kind of that same thing for Sam in this one, where so people say, oh, we jumped the shark by having the ghost of Billy Loomis. Well, it's probably more Sam's own messed up issues manifesting as Billy saying, you know what you really are. Go ahead and do this.
Although I had to wonder about that, considering the fact that Billy, we see a real reflection of Billy in the climax, and he's motioning his head over to a knife that's like hidden out of view behind a curtain for her to reach.
That could be.
How do you know it's not really a ghost? Because otherwise, Sam must have like spatial awareness to the upteenth level of superhero.
That's true. But at the same time, it would have been so funny if someone did an edit where because she only saw the Stab movies, that she sees Billy Loomis and it's Luke Wilson looking at her.
Well, to be fair, like if we saw the requel rules scene, there's like a moment where they have a freeze frame of the actual Billy Loomis. Probably have like here's the based on the here's the actual person this character is based on.
Well, yeah, it was the stab, the true story. And we all know when they do these killer documentaries, they do always show photos of the real guy versus how they were portrayed by someone famous.
Hmm.
Well, this is the case where I think the
Yeah.
real guy actually looked better than the guy who played him. All due respect to Luke Wilson.
but but all the same, I actually coming back to this video, I actually found Sam to be like I feel like Sam was like the proper like new blood generation star that Jill Roberts tried to be, but was like really hammering it up with like how the late 2000s, early 2010s tried to have like, oh, we have the star character, but they're just so basic and bland, and oh, what was me and all that bullshit. Whereas Sam actually has like actual past issues. She has uh history. She literally damaged her family. She lashed out and caused so much problems and troubles in her hometown of Woodsboro that she had to effectively leave her sister and her mom, who was like left in a drug state. She literally caused her dad to break up the family because she found the secret and blatted it out in a rage of anger to her mother for withholding this big secret from everyone. She's now hearing that her sister was attacked by a ghost face killer, and she has to come home and realize that, oh my god, I've literally like been just living it out and lashing out at myself, but I need to like really like get myself together and like help save people from my mistakes.
On top of that, she's also the one that tries to speak the most sense. Where she has a plan after the Dewey scene where she tells Tara, we gotta do what everybody in these movies should probably do at this point. We gotta get the hell out of Woodsboro.
You must fight to run away. But yeah, getting the hell out of Dodge. That's never been done in a Scream movie before.
Except for Joel.
Too. Man, we keep forgetting about these things.
But, oh goodness, like I said, she does have the right amount of, vulnerability, but also strongness, but not coming off as a quote-unquote Mary Sue, some would accuse people of this types of being. But the thing is that she does point out the incredulity of the fact that someone is targeting her specifically because of her connection to Billy Loomis, where she says, are you saying that I'm in the middle of fucking fan fiction, as she puts it?
No, not in the middle of it. If he would, you could also be the killer.
Because apparently the secret of her being, the daughter of Billy Loomis is widely known for the small town of Woodsboro as the clip. It's a small town. Everyone knows your mom drunk talks about it, and maybe that could be another reason why if Judy knew about that connection, then maybe that's probably why she says maybe you shouldn't probably be here, which makes sense for her, a little bit of animosity besides also just being a pain in the butt when she was Deputy Judy. And like I said though, she does embrace that side of her when she has to finally dispatch the killer with the new rule of never mess with the serial killer's daughter. And I always compare this to the Tyrannosaurus in Lost World watching Junior hunt down Mr. Ludlow, but that's kind of the look I get from Billy when he sees her just go to town on our hapless, poor son of a bitch that messed with her. Uh-oh. Did the call freeze? One moment.
Sorry about that.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, so we had a brief blip out of my co-host, but she is now back in full.
Where was I before I like went out of nowhere?
Well, I was talking about how she does. The last thing you said was talking about getting the hell out of Dodge, and I talked about the whole. I was reminded of the Tyrannosaurus hunting Mr. Ludlow and having Junior do the coup de grace. That's the same look Billy gives her when she tries to go to town on our poor son of a bitch who decided to mess with her, and her new rule of never mess with the daughter of a serial killer.
Wow. Okay, I must have really blanked out there because I was going on a tangent. I was like really excited that we were having. I feel like Sam was like exactly the type of person who should have following from this franchise here on out instead of Sydney, but in fact we got that a little bit with part 6, but then of course real world had to be real world bullshit, and like of course you had to have opinions that any person with a fucking pulse in their blood cells would have.
Yeah,
And of course the upper heads are like, oh no, you can't be saying stuff like that, you're gonna piss off he who shut up your name, we gotta have a merger going. And of course they fucking drop her like a rock.
Well, on top of that, this is not the Gina Carano situation from Mandalorian. This is far from it. Her contract simply expired. They chose not to renew after some of her up out their comments. Whereas Melissa was contracted to do 7, and of course, due to her statements, it was seen as being considered racist and anti-Semitic, even though it was just a simple message. And we're not going to get into the details of that mess, but there are some people who are boycotting Scream 7 on the basis of that dropping, all that kind of stuff.
I honestly just hope that like someone like shuffles things through and gets her to come back for part 8.
Just as long as they don't write an off-screen thing.
I'll be pissed off. I'll be like, if I hear news that they off-screen her, I'll be like, yep, that's it. I'm done. I'm done with the franchise. Fuck all of you. I'm out of here.
But anyway, so but yeah, like I said though, Billy Skeet does do a good job. I love when he's telling her, like, as a defensive mechanism, it's like someone's trying to kill your sister, trying to kill your family. So what do you go out there and start slitting some throats? Which could Billy not be doing that in the middle of a car? Because we always have a call back to 4 where a truck jump scares Sam as she's driving, arguing with her dad.
Yeah. But oh boy, when like things get intense, like she really like actually leans into her psychotic tendencies, just really lets it out. Because to be fair, I would have crashed out that way too after all the bullshit and hearing the big
Motivation and everything.
reason for it. In fact, you know what? Let's just get into it. Let's just talk about the damn killers here. Start with the Mickey Madison as Amber Freeman.
Oh, Amber.
It was basically like a best friend and essentially the caretaker to Tara Carpenter, except of course it turns out she is just baiting her like a fucking turkey.
On top of that, she is probably the one that did most of the attacks on her, and she is probably the most psychotic Ghostface in the costume that we've seen so far.
Oh my god, when like the shoe drops and like she reveals her true nature, the girl goes from... Okay, I think this is probably the best comparison I could think of. She's basically like shit. What's the name of that like one guy? Give me a second. I gotta point to this. Zant. She's like fucking Zant from Twilight Princess, where it's like they got this like cool collected like ensemble like appearance, and
They're
then
like-
once the shoe drops, they go fucking batshit insane.
Look, I think she was trying to match the energy of Stu. But,
Look, honey, I know me well, but no one can out Matthew Lillard. I don't think even Matthew Lillard can like outdo Matthew Lillard these days.
Timothy came close. But,
Yeah, he didn't get to live long now, did he?
yeah, that's the thing. So, yeah, the thing is about her is that she is, and her co-partner in crime says that, they love these movies, but they've all turned to crap, but they don't have nothing real to be based off of, so she found this guy on Reddit, which I always knew Reddit was the source of all evil.
But it is said that the Ghostface killers have two different stylings of killings, and whenever Amber's in the costume, she's the one that's multiply stab happy.
Mhm.
So that means that she's the one.
As you stated before, the Ghostface killers they will tentatively make sure they never stab more than 7 times.
Yeah, yeah, Tara was
Because
brutal.
they don't want police reports to say like, "Oh, this poor victim was stabbed 8 times." Like, otherwise they'll hear stab 8 and just like twitch out and go like, "You don't speak of that name."
Yeah, and yeah, but because she's the one that. Oh, and she stabs Dewey 2 times, probably double tapping his supposed death in stab 2. Now,
Yeah,
I'm probably looking too much into the number of stabbings, but that's how I'm seeing it.
uh,
And
yeah. Amber's one of the really tweaked out ones. She like says like that like the fans actually got her like riled up.
yeah, it's kind of like Mickey's blaming it on the movie's motive. Now, here's the thing that I realize: the cops that were killed at the Woodsboro General had modern guns, but the gun that Amber uses to cap Liv when Liv is saying, "I'm not the killer," says, "No, of course I am," and boom, is actually Dewey's gun. It's kind of a trophy.
Do you fucking? I really don't want to say that word.
But you just realized you didn't think about that,
No, it's more disrespectful now.
which is why when that same gun gets knocked out and Gale is given the shot chance to use it, that's why it's sitting at the
Oh,
sun's
never mind. I take it back. Now it actually feels a lot more savory.
yeah, that she used the same gun that Amber was using to go ahead and do the coup de grace on her. But funny fact about her is that she also played a cultist in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is loosely based off the Charles Manson murders. At one point
Huh.
on Sharon Tate and by Tarantino, which also had Timothy Olyphant
I
in
still need
it.
to see it.
But what's funny is
I was about to say I still need to see that, but I remember it's like, no, not Tarantino. You're still in the corner, right? After that comments you made about Matthew, I can't look at anything new from you for a while.
but what's funny though is that that character also meets with a fiery end. What's funny is that she's screaming to Gail about how she's all used up. It's time to pass on the torch, and she throws hand sanitizer all over her. And then because this was post COVID, mind you, and then she
Mhm.
shoots her right into the stove, which happens to be one of those kickstart stoves. So she ends up setting herself on frickin' fire. And Gail sarcastically responds back. So how's
Fuck
that?
you.
How's that torch? So then the thing about her though is that she kind of plays the Mickey role and the Stu role to this whole thing. The other guy is probably even more of a shocking betrayal because we were introduced to Richie Kirsch,
Oh,
the love interest of Sam, played by Jack Quaid, aka Huey from The Boys and Superman and My Adventures of Superman. In fact, the guy auditioned for Superman when Gunn was looking for the Cornsfit Superman, but I think David just had more the looks to it because they all had to test in the blue underwear, and Jack admitted it was a little kind of funny to do it that way. But the thing is, seems like the honest to goodness guy. If anything, kind of reminds me of my personal buddy Ian in a good way.
oh my god! I hope you. Oh, this would be a point where he would have showed up and say, "Hey guys, how's it going?" But it's like, nope, still no show.
It's
But
probably working. But the thing is that Richie admits that he didn't see any of the Stab movies, but he seems to know a lot about things about it, despite being a guy who's a new fan. And he admits he's watching it on Netflix for research and such.
I noticed he said what stabs on Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
as in stab one particular.
Oh yeah, and on top of that, there's a part where he gets shot by Sid on accident, where she's mentioning how she's shooting the gun everywhere, and he does the most campy ass, oh shit, it's Ghostface when Ghostface shows up to attack Sid. Even I'm going like, wow, Richie, I think fully suspect you now with the way you delivered that line. Holy crap! It's Ghostface. I think was the line.
Hey, shit, it's Ghostface.
And the thing with him is that he shows up with Sam, who barely survives. Encounter with Ghostface is so good. You live, because I really wanted to be the one to kill you, was his surprise, where he sticks a knife into her.
Oh,
And then
this is I just literally guessed. No, no fucking way.
and he shows that the reason they were going to leave Woodsboro but come back was because Tara didn't have her inhaler, and Amber has her spare inhaler. So when it's revealed that Richie had the inhaler the whole time, it's like, oh, you sneaky son of a bitch.
I think this might be the most absolute fundamental betrayal that outmatches Billy betrayal in first one, Mickey betrayal after he was basically like
Gaslighting
uh,
Derek.
gaslighting there, and then even a bigger betrayal than Jill Roberts, who's like, it's all in the family and all that. Because, like, come on, the dude is Superman, for God's sakes. He does this bullshit?
And he mentions his whole motivation. That whereas Amber stabbed multiple times because she's just knife happy, whenever Richie was in the Ghostface costume, he made sure to stab once. He stabbed Vince in the neck once. He ran through Wes once. And, yeah. But he couldn't have...
Oh,
And he couldn't have been the one at the hospital, but he probably did the cop over there because he had that spare gun in the back of his jeans.
yep.
But the thing about him is that Amber, that means that Amber was the one that got Dewey.
Well, of course, Amber's literally admitted it, like, even to Gail and Sydney.
He went out like a pussy too, which is enough for them to go after, like, get her ass. So the thing about him is that nobody respects the fans. They made that crap movie Stab 8, which, by the way, there's a funny cameo by Dead Meat where you see Richie in a video and Dead Meat's talking about why Stab 8 sucks. Changing Ghostface's iconic weapon.
Which is also another thing that, like, fanboys like to do. It's like watching videos to just back up their own feelings and whatnot of a topic.
And also, they do make fun of the fact that Stab 8, which is called Stab, they're just called Stab 8, which I'm going like, which is making fun of the fact that this movie was Scream instead of 5 Cream. Or Scream 5, yeah. Anyway, but the thing about Richie is that he is talking about how they call us fans toxic, and how can it be toxic when it's something you love? And I'm sure
when you go to the point of actually killing other people to make it better.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll talk about it in detail, but the thing is that's his whole deal, is that we're doing a movie where the fans win, because he wanted to bring Sidney Prescott out so that the daughter of Billy Loomis can go snap crazy, and they end up, starting a whole new trail of murders, with saying how, this is a stupid statement, but I get what they're saying, that the thing about the Stab movies is they don't got a Freddy or a Jason to keep coming back. The Ghostface persona is a Ghostface persona, but it's been 7 different people at this point.
In the movies, but wait, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, I'm talking about in the...
Shit, you're actually right. There have been like 7 killers up to this point.
Yeah, but the mask is the gimmick, but the killer themselves, they're not like Freddy, who keeps coming back, or Jason, who's hard to put down. So their idea was, well, what if you make it the killer, the daughter of the serial killer, Billy Loomis? Now that's your villain. So, again, I'm not the villain, you're the villain.
This is much more compelling than the... at this point, I had to, like, quote the TFS particular, say, "Wow, says it the father much?"
But so that is their motivation and everything like that. So I know you said you've been waiting for a whole video to get to this point.
The toxic fandom. This is something that's also got criticized in the movie because, like, people just mocking the certain fandom circles like Star Wars and all that. I gotta say, if you're offended by it, good, because that's literally mocking what you are right now.
Yeah, because there's some of us who we watch a film and we go, well, that just didn't work for me, and we kind of move on in our lives. But there are others
These
who,
guys are obsessed to the point they think it's detrimental. It's being sacrilegious. It's like damning their religious beliefs, their upbringings. They cannot wake up in the morning without having to think of like, oh yeah, this thing exists, and I fucking hate it.
and the thing is that that's why I would have been Amber as the accomplice was the big swing, and okay, that was I didn't see that coming. But if it turned out that Mindy was Richie's accomplice, given how she talked about these movies mean something to someone, she said, I would have been surprised if they pulled to Mindy being the partner if they had revealed it that way. But no, she was one of the targets too.
Although it's funny that fucking Richie might just say, well, how maybe you could be the killer. You're giving all this spiel just to cover your ass.
Isn't that what you're doing? Yeah, that's so funny about Richie being the head mastermind when he was trying to play off the whole uh, I don't know anything guy, which is why he was so amazed that Dewey pinned it at one point when Dewey said, "Don't trust the love interest."
He nailed it first go. Never trust the boyfriend.
I guess they didn't forget what Randy said. Forget the boyfriend shtick. It's tired. Which
But
I
yeah, it's just okay. So, and let's face it. If you kind of like step back and go like, oh, like all the other like screen killers like have like very derivative, very basic, very
mundane.
what's the term? Mundane and very petty reasons to be killers. Well, that's the things. Billy Loomis set out to uh, kill because
Mommy issues.
Cindy's Cindy's mother fucked his father and caused the mother to leave the family, and it caused abandonment issues. He decided to take it out on the Marine first, and a year later, like after like being left out in the cold from Cindy, he decided like, okay, fine, I guess I can't have it either way with the Prescotts anyway, so I'll just fuck them out of my life. Because the second one, where Mickey is like
The
setting up
trial.
the kills, just he wasn't even caring about the kills. He was caring about like setting him up to get himself into the lead role of being in trial, which was like the big circus act of the 80s
90s.
time. But then also in that very same issue, you had the mother of Billy who is seeking revenge on Cindy, and that revenge is pretty clean cut of an excuse. Then we have Roman, who was tired of Cindy getting all the fame, all the glitz and glamour of like something that he inadvertently started, and basically he wants his due. And then of course there's the fucking Jill Roberts, who literally set up everything just so that she could take over to be the star too. Obviously, kind of a redundant retread of Roman, but it's basically she is kind of like the mirror image of the modern media at the time. Just like gotta get the get rich quick schemes essentially. But this this is why you set off so many kills, so much suffering, so much visceral ferocity because a movie pissed you off. You have got to have congratulations, Richie and Amber. You both have won the coveted I most pettiest villain logic I have ever witnessed.
Oh yeah. And the thing is that Richie does play it off really well. Where you're going like, oh god, this guy. I'm sure some people who negatively reviewed it quoted that picture from that one joke of Facebook saying, "I'm in this picture and I do not like it."
And the fact of the matter is, it's like these have got to be the worst toxic fans I've ever seen, because if they're actual fans of the Stat movies, they don't understand that the movies are about the survivors, not the fucking killers.
And then he said there hasn't been a good
So,
stab since
so,
Stab
basi-
One.
so basically, So basically, inciting these murders makes you no better than the bad guys of the movies, which is something that should not be cheered or praised over for.
But yeah, he does go out like a whiny bitch though. After I like when he's expecting Sam to come out of the closet, like where Ghostface mask can jump at me, like Sid did in Stab One. The- Sorry about that. I had a little thing from my dad.
It's okay.
Anyway,
But,
so
but yeah,
but
he was not expected to get shot at by City Pesca. He was not expected to get thrown off the balcony. He's not expected to get bitten.
and
Honestly, for someone who's expected to try to make like, another stab movie, dude is sure is a whiny bitch.
I love he's telling him stop ruining my ending. And later when he gets nearly stabbed to death, he's all like, "Well, what about my ending?" Sam gives him the coup de grace. You're
Oh,
about,
here it comes.
and she just gives him ear to ear. Which I say that's for how he did in West, because I think it's confirmed that Richie did the West kill.
Yeah, but man, the it is a little bit cathartic for me to see these like punks go out the way they do.
Oh,
Like they basically just murder friends and colleagues over a fucking movie that, in the long run, nobody's gonna give a shit about.
on
In
top of
fact, it's funny given how the next movie opens and basically the new Ghostface killer says, "Who gives a fuck about movies?"
yep.
It is basically like the final middle finger to all of this.
And what's great though is the fact that this does live to the tagline of the original movie. The original movie tagline was "Someone took their love of scary movies too far."
Yeah, that's definitely a. Although to be fair, Billy Lewis like used that facade to kind of hide Mask, who could be like the killer when his motivations are actually pretty psychotic in their own way without needing horror movies in the mix.
Yeah.
But as you stated, like movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Yep. And on top of that, though, him talking about stuff like a PG-13 relationship and we're kind of hot and heavy in NC-17, fear is their greatest defense type thing. I've said it enough times. I'm not going to annoy you with you anymore. But I'm thinking with Billy, like, does he listen to himself talk? Same thing to it, Richie and his little fans feel. I'm like, dude, you would be laughed off of every forum by stab fans if this got out. To be honest,
Yeah.
but I think that's the point. So, anyway, but as we mentioned before, though, this this one has some pretty gnarly, ferocious kills.
Tara has basically a pincushion after getting stabbed 3 times, her femur broken in. Oh, she even like undid some of her stitches by having to force herself to get out of her hospital bed under a wheelchair and like wheel herself out,
Oh,
causing her hands to be getting bled up.
oh, that's the other thing too mentions. Richie tries to paint the whole thing to Sam about how, what if Tara's the other killer? I mean, do you really know her that well? And I'm like, there's a few things wrong
Well,
with the
even if
theory.
she was like being the other ghost face, that has to be the most gimped ghost face I've ever seen. It's
And
like, can you imagine like Ghostface just coming around the corner out of the closet, just
limping.
basically on one leg, on with crutches, like with like the Bowie hunter knife wrapped around a cast.
Oh, although I know the movie did fake us out though, where Sam does find Tara, taped up after Amber ambushed her, and she's ready to cut her loose, and then the movie shows her pausing and hesitate, like, oh no, did Richie's diversion technique work? Then turns out, nope, she didn't.
Nope. As you said, like I know her better than you think I do.
But oh my goodness, and she does get to put the final coup de grace kill on
It
Amber. Oh,
probably also helps that like if Tara actually even knew about like all this with the secretive like Sam's past, like the way she reacted in the hospital would not have been so raw, so
get the
hurt,
fuck out,
so
yeah.
at that point, like her reaction to that is like, "Yep, that cleans." Like she's not even like mastermind behind the curtain pulling the strings.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the thing is that the kill. So the first kill we see is Vince, and he gets it through the neck, but he is sputtering and you know crawling out while the Ghostface killer is like hovering over him, which is Richie in this case. Which of course Richie would set it to Red Right Hand because he's that much of a fanboy of the first movie. Where he even times his knife slick to go with the bell of the song. The first like majorly brutal kill, like ooh, that's actually bad. Was well, Judy walked right into that one. Literally, she's running, and they say you're
But
a.
then, but then Wes, the, the way they lingered on the effect, I'm pretty sure I have to applaud the effect team for finding a way to get a blade to like be pressed on. I assume it's like a skin prosthetic.
And and the thing is, the ghost face, you can see him applying force more and more as Wes is trying to offer some fight before getting to the neck.
Yeah.
But then the
And
net.
oh god, do we have to mention Dewey again? Basically, like deboned like a fucking fillet of fish.
Yep, he got. This was to make sure he didn't get it. They come back. Now Chad took a couple of bad stabbings, and one of the worst like ooh moments is when he's trying to turn off his tracker, but he can't do the whole passcode slip thing because he has bloody fingers, which that's actually kind of nightmarish when you look at it that way.
Yeah.
Where you can't
But
do
hey, he gives the big thumbs up as he's like in the ambulance.
like Dewey. Oh, too soon. But oh my,
Well, the luck's gotta pass on to someone, I guess.
and Liv. Oh God, the next movie is ridiculous. We'll save that one for that. Liv
I
gets
can
a.
see the eyes.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Welcome to Act 3, and then let's see. But I think this is one where
Poor, Mindy got like a few good cuts in, but of course, when Sam jumps in, she for some reason able to scare off the Ghostface killer. It's like, dude, you just throw a chair at me? Oh, fuck this! I gotta double back.
But this is one of those movies where the killers get it good, or it's satisfying. Whereas they kind of get shot one and done in the other ones. This one, Amber gets set on fire, and then she comes back for one last scare, only to be murked by Tara with
Taken
Dewey's
down
revolver.
by Jenna. Silver for the Babadook.
And Richie gets stabbed thousands of times.
Like, that's my killer.
And then, oh man, the shooting of the shooting his body just to make sure, just in case. But of course, like I says, Amber comes for one last scare before.
Sam's like tripled it. I don't blame her for all the betrayal that he did and the hurt he inflicted on her sister. And
Although I will say, Richie still got off less worse than poor Trevor in the previous movie. Poor guy was minding his own business. But anyway, so the ferocity is back. This thing definitely, and like I said, the Ghostface taunting is just as good as ever. And
but double back to the toxic fandom. It's like they also noticed that the Ghostface killer is like really gatekeeping like horror fans. What's the point of asking what's your favorite scary movie if you're just gonna be like that focused on Stab 1? It's like, yeah, I know that I can understand like being annoyed with about the whole elevated horror thing, but the movies that Tara listed are legit horror movies,
and they're good.
Hereditary, It Follows, The Witch.
The Babadook.
Like, I mean, I haven't gotten around to seeing these ones, but I know as a horror girl knows how like very productive and hard hitting and scares they are.
But yeah.
But no, the Ghostface Killers these are all about like relishing the schlocky '90s filled meta contextual like slasher nonsense. Basically bottlenosing themselves down to just one gimmick and basically just one gimmick if they don't evolve with the times, they're basically like opening themselves to failure.
But yeah, so the other thing the music is pretty much other than the Return of Red Right Hand. This was the first movie without Marco Beltrami as the usual composer. We now have Brian Tyler picking the baton. He's no stranger to picking the baton up to former franchises. He already did that for Rambo, Aliens vs Predator Requiem. One of the better things about that movie was its score, and a lot of Marvel films. Oh, and he also does the Fast and Furious series too. But he does give
Of
us,
course.
but he does give us these big, strong, droning motifs that add to the horror, while still throwing in a few nods to classics like having Sydney's lament play as she re-enters the Mocker household for the first time in years, or playing the Broken Arrow theme for Dewey. As for original songs, I don't really remember a lot of like pop songs really sticking out as much in this one, other than Red Right Hand.
Right. Oh, I guess once again it's time for us to say rules to survive. Scream 5.
Okay, what's
Rule
funny
number
is
one. Rule number one. Take the goddamn thing fucking seriously. Like, I don't know what it is with like most of these characters, but they're always having this like I gaslight you, you gaslight me. Am I the killer? You're the killer. Maybe I could be the killer. It's like, guys, stop bullshitting around and actually make sure you don't like paint yourselves in a way that like no one's gonna help you if like actual shit happens. Your best friends are fucking dying, and you think this is just gonna be like a future stab movie in the works is gonna be happening? You're gonna have like what fucking Jenna Ortega playing as you in the future movie?
so. Then, what's your other rule?
Do you have one?
Maybe hit the range and always go for headshots, maximum damage.
Yeah,
Although-
that's a good one.
Although Amber did take that to heart and live that way, so maybe not.
Another rule: get some fucking therapy for like uh fucking standard, because like a little bit of therapy goes a long way. It's like there's only so much like pills can do for you.
Uh-huh. And then this one, they definitely should have stayed together. They did too much splitting up, even though they said stick together.
Even when the fucking killer said like the first fucking rule is don't split the fuck up.
And they split up. Like your buddy system rule from the past movies would definitely come into play in this one. And
Let's see, another rule here is if you're going into a house that has well, at least okay, if you're going into a town that's known to have like murder happening, have fucking bulletproof vests on.
mm-hmm.
Good God, even Bad Bunny knew better when he went to the Grammys to have like a bulletproof vest under his suit before his halftime show happened.
Yeah, my dad noticed that too. I went, oh, okay. But
When when fucking Bad Bunny is being more proactive and being protective of yourself than like people who have survived no less than 4 different Ghostface attacks, you know someone's really fucked up.
yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It is actually pretty survivable. It's just that these people were in the thrall of the killer's friend circle, so that's why. But other than that, it's pretty survivable.
Yeah.
And another thing, just don't go back. You know the Ghostface killer will take another swing at you, but don't miss next time. Don't try to go back.
Actually, you know what? Let's just make another rule. Don't fucking go to woodsboro. Just like write the town office like, okay, you know what?
You're
it's basically
condemned.
Like a ghost town, but it's still alive. It's basically just condemn it. Just basically make it the next Silent Hill. It's like let the town live on its own merits. But step in that town, you're basically guaranteed that you're just gonna have like a hell of a huge hospital bill.
Anyway, so overall, reception to this film was actually pretty good. This is also the first major horror film released after the pandemic, so of course it brought in numbers.
And
certified fresh too.
they didn't put it on streaming on the same day either, unlike Halloween Kills.
To be fair, that's one thing I'll give Paramount for. There actually are basically, pushing to have movies go into movie theaters to the point where before their movies actually start, they'll always have a message by either the cast or the director,
Top Gun.
thanking everyone, hey, thanks for coming out and sitting your ass down in the movie theaters for the expensive popcorn and drink and everything. So sit back and enjoy the movie, and thank God you're not pirating or streaming this thing.
Oh hell, they even said one of these for Scream. I remember when I go see Scream, they said this is Nev Campbell, and everyone said thank you for choosing Scream. And I know they did that for Scream 6 too, with the core forecast. So yeah, so this one was actually pretty well received, with everyone agreeing that yes, it updates it. I mean, it kind of falls into some old traps of the other stuff, but it still has the same ferocity and wit that Wes had. In fact, some say maybe it was a little too on the nose at times, like the Mindy scenes and stuff. But other than that, it's been like one of the jokes is that Stab 8 was directed by the Knives Out guy.
Which is funny considering that the Knives Out movies are basically also whodunit mysteries. So you think like, who else to make a whodunit killer mystery than the guy that does whodunit mysteries?
I don't know, but
I guess apparently like that type of the math don't math out with the old school fans, I suppose.
he must have done it differently because he wanted to be different just to be different, like he did with a certain eighth entry of another movie he made. Oh, that was another FU when she mentions Stab 8 and then Liv says I like that one. And of course you do. You have shit taste. Like
Of course you do.
anyway, but for the most part, everybody laughed at the metatextual nature. They said it was okay. Some felt that it was a little too brutal. Hell, even Skeet and Nev did point out that maybe they used a little more blood than they were comfortable with.
And Markiplier's in the corner going like, I can top that. I can top it wherever you guys got.
Oh yeah, I think it's more blood in one scene of Iron Lung than the entirety of the Scream 6 movies. All of them.
Yep.
But the idea is that everyone did agree this was a nice return to form, that it was actually well received. There's some that says it was a little derivative for the most part, but there's almost nothing new to say with horror
But
films.
to be fair, even the characters themselves said, like, you guys got to be the most derivative of the bunch.
So, but like it says though, and I know there's movies that say just because you point out the problem in your movie doesn't negate the problem, but I think it worked out well on this one. But everyone was talking about this one. I mean, it did numbers enough for them to say we're going full steam ahead with a Scream 6.
Which that definitely got me excited. But yeah, to me, when we were rewatching this movie, I think I finally clicked that I mean, I did suspect it when I first originally saw it, and I gave my thoughts on it. But I definitely feel like this one finally tops Scream 2 as my favorite of the Scream movies.
Wow.
Like, yeah, but it basically got me having an emotional roller coaster, all the highs and lows. Most of the characters I did actually can remember all of that. And as I said before, the opening scene with Tara, I feel, is basically like on the same level, if not maybe one step slightly above the Drew Barrymore's iconic death in Scream 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree to that. Now, I still think this one holds up well for me. Me and my sister were the only ones laughing the hardest at some of the meta jokes that we're making in there. But for the most part, it was a good scary time, and we still winced and oohed and ahhed at like some of the brutality in this movie. And
the fact is, like, it's so good because, well, of course, we were all worried, like, is this gonna feel the same without Kevin's writing, without Wes's directing? Is it gonna feel like a Scream movie to us? Or is it gonna be like, oh, it's just Scream in name only? But oh no, it definitely lived up to being a solid entry in the Scream franchise.
for the most part, all the entries hold up to where I put them. There's only one that maybe probably went down lower in recent memory, but other than that, all of them have been pretty consistent, especially this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess we said all we could on Scream 5, but trust us, it really is one to check out. I just wish we went with the Scream 5 I'll surrender the 5 Cream thing. I think a Scream 5 would have helped more because it is funny to search up Scream
I
and it says,
I, I feel like it was okay to do that for when it was in the movie theaters, but once it should have just done it like the Thunderbolts like asterisk did, where it's like it marketed it as Thunderbolts asterisk, and then once the movie's out in one weekend, you bring out like Thunderbolts: The New Avengers.
although one of the concept titles was
It's
called,
here. It's like once it hit like home media, like have like the red V in the middle of the M, just like we did right here. Is that really hard?
because you keep
Paramount?
saying,
Really?
like wait, when you type up Scream, do you want Scream 1996 or Scream 2022? Oh, then again, the
I
Halloween
basically
series
just
laughs at
call the
us.
first one Scream '96.
Anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, I really do still like this one, and again, I think what's strongest for me is Dewey's moments and stuff like that right before his death.
It certainly caught your attention so much that you put his lead up to his impending doom in the intro to all of these videos.
Well, it does match with the Scream Guru line, but still, yeah. But then this is when I went like Scream is back. Like you said, Scream is back and here to stay.
Exactly.
Anyway, so tune in next time as you go ahead and top us off to our coastal event.
So it's jump from one side of the coast to the other, hitting the Big Apple, New York City, as Ghostface returns. But something feels different.
I'll tell you right now, it's not
We'll
all.
figure that out when we talk about in Scream 6.
Spoiler alert: 80% of it is not on a boat this time.
Thank fucking God.
Yeah, Paramount. You got that right after 30 years. Both of those movies were by Paramount. That's so funny. All right, so this is Jonesy Cat. Jonesy Cat 79, aka Chris, signing off with my usual co-host Erica, aka Dark Neon.
And remember, stop gatekeeping horror. Horror is open to anyone.
For Wes.